Imagine making a video and the next thing you see...
Because you made a massive blunder. If you are not privy to that, then I think you should probably not talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls. I challenge you to a formal debate. You have to show your face. You can't distort your voice like you're doing. You have to tell everybody what you believe and where to find you, etc. Like if you're an Orthodox Jew, etc. So I challenge you.
Wow, what a generous offer. Anyway, she starts off seeming to be upset about the fact that I didn't mention a different point in that original debate about the Chevanachal manuscript.
And then we can see the letters a little better that way. But it's definitely not a Christian text, as we stated in the video. Although the video doesn't go on to show that part, of course. But let's not be like them. Let's continue.
The original video was an hour and 45 minutes long, whereas my response is only 2 minutes. Yes, I didn't mention every point in the original video. And despite her later on making the same mistake, she shouldn't be aware of this concept as she totally ignores my linguistic argument of the word karu. However, there is one point I do agree with. We are not the same. I never pressured anyone to dox themselves.
You have to show your face. You can't distort your voice like you're doing. You have to tell everybody what you believe and where to find you, etc.
I never went after the person. That is the difference between the two of us. Anyway, after I proved that the word her friend thought also existed in Zechariah is actually a totally different word, she couldn't find the time to acknowledge the severity of the issue, for she was too busy being selectively outraged at me saying she didn't address this point when she thinks she did.
So I did correct that, so that's really weird. It's actually in the thing you play. I corrected it.
Notice I played that part of the video because I knew she would claim that's what she meant. And I did not want her to claim I'm being dishonest. But let's actually check what she said.
The karo, the word that you mentioned, is also used in Zechariah 12 when they say that they will look at me, the one who they will look at me, the one who they pierce.
She's talking about dekaru, right?
Yeah.
Which is different than saying like the kaf, which means like, and then ari, which means lion. You have a yod and you have a vav, and it's not that different, right? A yod, if you continue down. What? Didn't I correct her?
No, what you said is that dakaru is different to kari. Oh wow, you don't say. This was never the contention. The question is if dakaru is different to karu. You then seamlessly morph into karu being not that different to kari.
And it's not that different, right? So did you miss the part where I said she's talking about dekaru?
No, what I missed was you explaining the mistake she made. The final nail in the coffin of you not realizing this problem is that when your friend was making this point, you were nodding along.
Because the dakaro, the word that you mentioned, is also used in Zechariah 12 when they say that they will look at me, the one who they will look at me, the one who they pierce.
However, even if I accept that you did in fact intend to correct her, you'll find yourself in a way bigger issue, for there's no way you expected anyone that doesn't already speak Hebrew to understand that that's what you meant. Ask anyone on that panel, including your friend, if she understood that what you were saying with that one half-baked statement is that that point is totally wrong. Because if she didn't, there is no way you could expect anyone in the audience to. And she definitely has the ability to explain things clearly.
Like, for example, the word ki, like when you say because or something like that, when you say kaf yod, that word is spelled differently in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's spelled with a big aleph at the beginning.
Then, in the classical passive aggressiveness, she suggests that I wasn't being respectful.
Didn't I correct her? And I did so without being disrespectful.
Oh wow, so nice of her to be so respectful towards her own side. I wonder why this respect didn't overflow when it came to responding to me.
You made a massive blunder.
Finally, in an attempt to defend her friend, she says,
By the way, the reason why she brought up dekaru is because that's also a messianic passage, and he's getting pierced or stabbed through there. Like,
so apparently the argument is that because in a different passage, there's a different word that talks about what they claim is a messianic passage. Therefore, in this verse, which they are trying to prove is a messianic passage, it should also mean pierced. Amazing logic, amazing logic.
And also, just so you know, she identifies as a Christian, yes, but she is one of the Messianic Jews on the panel. The 3 were Messianic, the 2 over here were Orthodox, and the 2 on this side were what you would consider just your mainstream Christian, right? I don't know their denominations, otherwise I would say so. So let's be respectful.
As I was left, honestly trying to figure out what was wrong with calling a Messianic Jew, the subgroup of Christianity, someone who identifies as a Christian.
She identifies as a Christian.
Calling them, a Christian. Just imagine how confused I was when I saw that she calls me by what isn't my name.
Yaakov, are you paying attention? Because I know it's you. You're using a voice changer. If it's not Yaakov, whoever it is, I challenge you to a formal debate. Don't even know who you are. If it's not Yaakov, can't distort your voice like you're doing.
So despite making my name clear in every single video, including that one, she chooses to neither believe me nor be respectful.
Let's be respectful.
But even if I was actually Yaakov, her obsession with doxing me calls for concern. After all of this, I can finally address the actual arguments she makes.
All right, so here's the problem with what you just said.
The problem? Alright, let's hear.
It's very simple.
Go ahead.
The aleph is being represented, as scholars think, as a vowel, which is extremely common in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Now, I don't even need to entertain her argument, since she admits that this is different in the Masoretic text.
Which is much different than the way Israelis spell today, obviously, and much different than the way the Masoretic text.
And here's the really important part. We are talking about the Masoretic text.
And we're talking about like a lion from the Masoretic text.
That is why she explains that a yud isn't that different to a vav.
You have a yod and you have a vav, and it's not that different, right?
Because we were addressing the Masoretic text, which has a yud.
So, if you are not privy to that, then I think you should probably not talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls.
I didn't, but since you are being so nice, fine, I'll get into it. Jews don't hold the Dead Sea Scrolls to be authoritative, just like almost all Christians don't accept the Dead Sea Scroll version of Jeremiah. Now, even on the opinion of scholars on this specific scroll she is holding up, I would direct you to a very well-made meta-analysis study going through dozens of scholarly articles and arguments, analyzing them and coming to a conclusion. The paper is called The Crux of Psalm 22:17 by Seth Pastel and Joseph Justice. In their conclusion section to the paper, they write, "We also examined the Nachal Chever manuscripts. We argued that the odd hey after Yadai calls into question the accuracy of this stretch of text." Now, as if it couldn't get any clearer, they conclude by writing, "Our contributions to this crux can be summarized as following. Masoretic consonants, ka'ari, in Psalms 22, represents the most contextually appropriate and earliest inferable text form." But don't worry, it gets even worse.
The aleph is being represented, as scholars think, as a vowel, which is extremely common in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh boy. This tendency you are talking about doesn't apply to any group besides for the Qumranian tradition. And get this, the other manuscript which you brought up isn't Qumranian.
If you are not privy to that, then I think you should probably not talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls.
This point was recognized by a Christian council. They attempt to give a Masoretic answer, which is beyond the scope of this video, but even they recognize that their answer was unconvincing and rank their answer a C tier. Just to drill this point in, I'll read from the meta-analysis paper I cited earlier. Finally, this manuscript's witness to Aleph in Karu is significant since this manuscript is not regarded by scholars as reflecting the Qumran scribal practice. Therefore, we cannot easily dismiss its presence as a scribal tendency to prefer clean spelling.
Made a massive blunder.
Wait, what was the word you said to me? Darn it, I wish I remembered. Oh, right.
If you are not privy to that, then I think you should probably not talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Couldn't agree more. Oh, by the way, would you also agree that your friend, who didn't know Hebrew and mixed up the words, also shouldn't be speaking about the Hebrew Bible? Finally, to put this argument to rest, I reached out to a friend of mine, Yossi Feigenbaum, who did extensive research and said that not only does every single instance of karu not contain an aleph, but there is not a single verb in the Dead Sea Scroll Bible wherein the root of the word is inserted an aleph. Anyways, she ends the video with probably the most confusing part of it all.
You don't know that standardizing of the text, labeling of the text, right? And I don't mean Pasuka, I don't mean like the divisions. I mean the labeling, verse 1, chapter 1, etc. came way later. Then this is going to be a problem and we're not even going to have a good cordial conversation.
I honestly have no idea what she's talking about. Like, I have no idea. I said nothing about the labeling of the text. Go back to the original video. There was not a mention about the labeling of the text. Let alone for her to now claim that somehow I demonstrated a lack of knowledge on this subject. And why should I mention it? It has nothing to do with this conversation. Even if everything she says is right, even if the labeling came way later, and how is that relevant? Now because it's labeled later, because the numbers came later, we somehow not able to determine what the words are? Why is any of this remotely relevant to what we are talking about? Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Check out the original video, both mine and hers, and please like and subscribe.